Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. Long time no see. Let me know if you can hear me and see me well, if anybody is here, because maybe you'll be popping in a little bit later. But how are y'all doing? Today we are here to discuss Children of Anguish and Anarchy by Tomi Adeyemi, which is the third book in the Legacy of Orisha trilogy. The first two books being The Children of Blood and Bone, the first one. The second one, Children of Virtue and Vengeance. And the third one and last one in the series, Children of Anguish and Anarchy. And so we already had live shows for the first two. And so now we are here to discuss the last one. And this one is going to be fun. Anyway, to begin with, we're gonna be discussing the third book, so we're just gonna jump into spoilers right away, I guess, because I mean, if you haven't read the first books, this is gonna be spoilers anyway for the first books of the series. So it's gonna be spoilery from the start. We can do that. I'm gonna put a ticker saying that spoilers for children or for Children of Anguish and Anarchy. And then there we go. Hello, Larissa and Efka. How are you doing? Didn't finish in time, but I don't mind spoilers. How much do you have left? Should we do a reading sprint first? We could do that. How much do you have left, Efka? But yeah, this is a YA fantasy set in Africa, kind of. It has some African cities that it is mentioning, and it is like taking from real world issues. But then there are all kinds of other like places. There is the map, so this is definitely not African map. And yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey. But we'll get into it. Hello, Larissa. I have an hour left of the audiobook. I finished on Wednesday, so hope my memory doesn't fail me. Yeah, Evka, what should we do? We can do a sprint, like 1 hour sprint for you to finish, and then we'll talk. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Larissa? Or you could read the other book. Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Love the map. That's gorgeous. Yeah, the map was beautiful. Definitely. And it was expanded from the previous two books, so there is a spoiler. But I mean, not for you, Ivka, but for everybody who haven't read the previous ones. But I mean, obviously, you don't know what the map is about, so it's fine. But so close, right? I don't want to spoil it for you if you're just 1 hour away. Do you think you could finish it in 1 hour? And we could do a sprint? Or would it be too much pressure? And you just prefer just that we go and discuss and then you finish it later? Can you show the map? I had the audio. I only had the audio. Yes. Wait. Like that? Can you see? There is the map. So here we have Orisha up there. Here is the tribes of Balderic, and here is New Gaia. So yeah, I can take a picture for you later if you'd like. Yeah, it is pretty. Yes, you don't have to wait for me to discuss unless you both want a reading sprint. I don't mind. Okay, what should we do? You decide. I could do a reading sprint. I totally want to read. But I get what you say about pressure, so I don't mind discussing it, and I can finish it afterwards. Okay. Yeah, I think it could be a bit like pressure for you, like you need to read it really fast because you have this time on you, and yeah. So let's just do it, and then you can finish it in peace. Where did you? So we are going to spoilers, right? Like everybody here has read the book. If you have not, thank you for being here. But and you don't want to get spoiled, then you gotta go because we're gonna be talking about spoilers now, and then you can come back once you finish the book. So where are you in the book? What's happening? What's in the like? Yeah, what's happening where you are right now? um I just want to know how to approach this, so maybe we can get to it a bit later and just start discussing the first part and maybe some theories that could be fun, and then we can talk about the ending, or maybe we can skip the ending and just be very vague and then finish talking about it on the Discord after you finished. Yes, bring on the spoilers and the salt. Give me the salt. Yes. um yeah, I've got salt. I mean, I'm so sad because it was, I mean, the cover is gorgeous, but unfortunately, that is the best part about the book is the cover. I absolutely adore the cover, but I don't know. Should we go into the salt? I'll just say from the start that I didn't mind. Like the writing was okay, I guess. Like that was just the same as in the previous two books, but it had nothing to do with the rest of the series. It felt like a completely different series. If we didn't have the same characters, it would be a completely different thing. So, in my opinion, there should have either the series should have finished with the second book and somehow wrapped up, or it should have had some other book finishing the series. And this story could have been like a companion sequel, companion story, something happening 10 years later, and have its own series. Everything that happened here could have been its own series, like separate three books. But it was all in this book. It had almost nothing to do with the previous series, with the previous two books. And everything just got resolved here. And it just, nah. No, it doesn't work. It does not work for me at all. Good questioning about what's happening because I feel very confused throughout this entire book. Yes, that I feel. I feel. Zeli and Mai are captured by the Skull King in time for the Blood Moon ritual, and both girls are being prepped for it, if I understand it correctly. Okay, yeah, yeah, exactly. That is there, yes. Um, yes, this felt so far removed from book one and two. Yeah, it did. And obviously, it is not because it was released so much later than the other two and we outgrown it because we just read it like last month. Like we just had live show for this like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I mean that's not why. I thought it was choppy and the short chapters and many POVs didn't help either. We didn't go in depth with the stuff that was happening. Also, where came that enemy from? Yes, exactly. That's exactly the kind of thing I hate in fantasy books. Is that uh, sometimes in the late, like when it's a big series, sometimes when the author runs out of things to write, so they just come up with something to write about, but it doesn't make sense with the series. Sarah J. Maas did this as well, where suddenly there were some three artifacts, like in book three, that were, and these were like, this if somebody gets hold on these, they would rule the world, but it was never mentioned in the previous books. And there were discussions about powerful things, and like so it would have definitely been mentioned. And it wasn't portrayed as some kind of secret, some kind of legend that nobody. No. people knew. Like, how are you gonna like introduce something like this halfway through the series? It's obvious that you didn't plan it from the start and you're just putting in something to for it to be interesting. I so hate when authors do that. And it was the same here. Where did this enemy come from? Like, there was no mention on who even are they. It was multiple times mentioned that they are somehow like supernatural, but it was never explained how. They're just super powerful, but not like explained in what way or why or what. So yeah, that definitely didn't make sense. I kind of enjoyed the short chapters. It definitely made me want to read more, because it felt like choppy, I understand, but to me it felt more like it gave it pace, and I just wanted to keep going. It wasn't like a 30-page long chapter where I just it's slogging. um, but at the same time, it felt like it was very rushed, and it was kind of like Game of Thrones season 8. That's basically what I was thinking. Like, this is Game of Thrones season 8, and it's just what in previous books would take 50 pages. Here was half a page, exactly like Game of Thrones. What in season 1 took the entire season, in season 8 happened in half a episode. So yeah, it was not good. The cliffhanger from book 2, I had such high hopes for what book 3 would bring. Yes, I know. And in a way, that didn't make sense either, because the book 2 ends with she is attacking Inan, and suddenly she just, like, the world fades, and then she wakes up on a boat somewhere. And then it's explained very much differently in book 3, where she remembers all these things, like, oh, then they were fighting there, and then this happened, and then she saw these people, and then she saw those people, and then they ended up on a boat. Like, but this didn't happen in book 2. So she invented a lot of things in book 3 that clearly was not the plan for them in the previous, well, writing the previous books. So that's quite annoying. Yes, Larissa, I completely agree with you. Yeah. Loved that we finally got Zane's perspective, which I had hoped was there in the other books. Yeah, yeah, it was definitely nice to have Zane's perspective. I liked it. I really liked it. But um, again, spoilers, it's not really explained how he got the magic powers. Like, where did that come from? He's not a magi, and they just carve his rib out, and suddenly he has magic. Or did he have magic because of the magical axe, the skull's axe? Or what happened? Like, it was so messy, so messy. Things were not explained properly. There were so many things that just were appropriate for the author, so she did it, but they didn't make sense. Like Zeli being, like, not being able to use her own magic because she had the Magicite crown, but she was able to return magic to everybody else. Like, if you're able to return magic to everybody else, why didn't it like give magic back to you? What the heck? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, they didn't probably have the Magicite crown, but still, like, how convenient is it? Like, oh, I have this medallion, and it's making me understand all the languages, and it's making me give. Oh, is that like the premonition, or like a build up for her to become a goddess? Is that what the medallion is doing? It's like turning her blood into a goddess blood, so she understands all the languages, and she's like almighty. Is that the point? Because that was not clear to me. Now I'm thinking about it, it could be that's why, but it didn't come to me at all. I feel like she wanted to have a major twist, but if you don't hint at it in earlier books, it just falls flat. Yeah, falls flat. Yes, definitely. um and what was even the twist? Like, there is this third enemy that we need to fight against after we spent 2 books fighting between each other in Orisha, and now there is another enemy. And as Evka mentioned on Discord, like it happened too fast that Inan just comes back and says like, "Okay, here is what happened," and suddenly everybody's like, "Okay, yeah, Magi and Titans are going to fight together." Like after centuries of killing each other and like being mad at each other and not trusting each other, suddenly like immediately they're like, okay, now it makes sense, now we're gonna fight on the same side. Like, huh? It was way too fast. This was supposed to be 3 books or something. We had this rich world of Orisha. It didn't make sense that we were hardly there, and all of a sudden there was more world to be discovered that we never heard of before. Yes, exactly. It felt like because Zane got powers, all of a sudden his perspective was valid to be added in a way. Yeah, yeah, I guess. Yeah, because he got powers. They gave him some POV, but where did he get the powers? From the X? Is that all that happened? Was it from the X? Was I right about the goddess? Yes, called it when there was talk about the new god. Well, I think it was. Well, okay, I don't know. Is that? Do you mean the? Which one is it? The a daughter of the great mother storm, a daughter of the great mother's forge, a father formed from blood. Before the blood moon, all three will unite, and on the old stone the bodies shall be sacrificed. He will feel the touch of the great mother again. The skies will open once more, and a new god will be born. Yeah, I mean, it suggests that he's gonna be the god, and that's how I understood it the entire time, that he is going to be the god. Uh, but spoiler alert, he's not. And I don't think it's that clearly mentioned that she becomes the god, but it does make sense that she does. Yeah, she does become a god. But I kind of hated the ending. Not that she became goddess, or if we agree that that's what she became, but because there are no stakes. Oh, there is one major spoiler. There is one major spoiler still. I wonder. We're not gonna say that one, but that's one of the things that I'm most bitter about that happened actually. So I don't know. I kind of want to talk about it, but maybe we can talk about it on Discord later. I didn't miss his POV in the earlier books, and I think we could go without because it was all about this new power and nothing much else. True, that is true. I did like though his point of view of how he failed to save his mom and the memories of that, and how he now finally is strong enough. Now he's finally a man, so he can protect Zelly. So I liked that because before that it always felt like, how are you gonna protect Zelly? Like he doesn't have magic, he doesn't have anything. Zelly is the strong one. But now it was kind of nice that like the thought process, and yeah, it felt very fast that like how fast he became a warrior. But again, because of magic, I don't know. Yes, that bit about the new god reborn. Thought it would be Zelly. Yeah, the entire time I was thinking it was gonna be the skull guy. But yeah, the enemy was defeated way too fast and easy. Yes. Yes. No, I was afraid of that, Larissa. Yeah, it was way too easy. And all the time, whenever anybody got anywhere, like it's like skulls were just like standing there doing nothing. Like nobody died in the battle. Nobody. Like it was way too easy. Shit, sorry, FK. Me not thinking. No, don't apologize. You can spoil everything. Yeah, there is one other major spoiler that we haven't said yet. So I'm not sure I will, but there is after this scene that you are reading, where under the sacrifice on the stone, Then they go back to New Gaia, and things happen there, and characters make decisions that on one side I loved the way it was done between the characters. Like I loved the internal struggle. I loved the love and the nostalgia and this, but I hated that the author was a coward. Honestly, I'll say that. Like I think the author was a coward, and it should not have ended that way. But I guess it had to. I just wish, but okay, it's YA. It's YA, I guess. And with the way the book was going, everything got too quickly resolved. Had hoped it would be different at the end, but I guess not. No, 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 not at all. Not at all. It's so fast. Like, the last chapter. Let's see. Um, the last chapter, 4 pages. Yeah, the last 4 pages before epilogue. Okay, even epilogue is 2 pages long. The last chapter, chapter 81, is where the final battle starts. Kind of. That's where the final thing goes down. That's 4 chapters before, 4 pages before epilogue. That's how fast it was wrapped up. So, oh, now I'm excited for the last bit. How do you feel about the ending, Larissa? A bit cheesy, to be fair. Like, I don't know. I just wish. Honestly, I think if this was like an adult series and it was written, well, for adults, but like in a really sophisticated, deep way, I think I could really, really enjoy this story. But it just felt like it was not done properly for me to enjoy. Like maybe for YA, so maybe for young adults, teenagers, maybe great. But for me, it felt like it was also rushed. It was not developed properly. It was not discovered. It was not like the emotions and the relationships were just very black and white. And I don't know, I just needed more nuance to all of these characters and to all of the relationships, but everything was just black and except the only relationship that I liked, that actually made sense somehow, and that made me kind of question and come back and go like back and forth, was Zelly and Amari, because they hated each other but they loved each other. The rest was very black and white to me, and I felt like there was definitely space for more exploration of the relationships and how they were affected by different events and betrayals and everything. No, I mean the scene between Ina and Zelly. Yeah, it was cheesy, but that is actually the scene I really like appreciated, because that's exactly the kind of scene I was like wanting in book 2. And that's what I mean, that all the relationships have been black and white. So I feel like this scene finally made it not black and white. But then what happened afterwards, like that's the scene where I think the author was total coward and didn't know what else to do, so did this. Kind of reminds me to what Sarah J Maas did in the Akobor, the third court of thorns and roses book. There's something similar there. It was like just a coward, just didn't make sense. Yes, I got that. A difference in audience, adult instead of YA, can help for an author to make different choices and be bold with it. Yeah, probably. Love the relationship between Amari and Zeli, how it had ups and downs. Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed that one. I think that one was really good, but again, could have been better. Not a comparison to Sarah J. Maas and the third book in that series. Yeah. Yeah. I did not like the third book in that series that much. I think the second one was my favorite in that series. Um, the third one, like the ending, I did not like. The same as I did not like the whole book. This whole book, I think, it just did not make sense to be part of this series to me. Um, yeah. So as I said, if it was a separate series and maybe split in two books, so we would get proper, exploration of the world and the characters and what's happening, then I'd probably enjoy it. But the way it was done did not work for me at all. And honestly, I was like 20 pages, 30 pages from the end, and I was like, if it wasn't for the live show, and if I wasn't 30 pages from the end, I would have DNF'd right now. That's how much I was sick of this book. Unfortunately. I was so disappointed. After the second book was so much fun. I expected so much from the third book, like that's gonna be epic because the second one, the ending was so good. But then this happened. So I'm very disappointed. I am very, very disappointed. Um, is there anything else I wanted to mention? I don't know. There are some things towards the end that are still waiting for you, FK, so I don't want to mention those that much. But before, yeah, I don't know. I think we covered it all. It just was too rushed. It did not make sense to be like a third book in this series, and yeah, too choppy. Yeah. What else should we say? Same. If it wasn't for the live show, I probably would have stopped before the halfway point. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. Yeah. That's a shame though, because the first two books were pretty good. I really enjoyed them, and I was like, people are so cruel, like hating so much on the second book, but you know, I'm hating on the third one now. But the second book was good, but the third one, I can leave so we can discuss the ending, and I can watch it back later. No, no, no worries, no worries. It's okay. I don't think we need to like discuss it in that detail. I think we kind of discussed the main point. And if need be, like we can discuss more on Discord once you finish, Ivka, because I will want to know your opinions as well. So we can continue there then. I would have finished it because I'm stubborn. But if I read it physically, I probably would have DNF'd. Yeah. Yeah. I had a combination. I read both. I read physically and listened to it at the same time. So it was not easy to finish. Just thought that there were way too many new characters added with this new book for me to keep track of them all. Yeah, that's yeah, there are lots. Yeah, sorry, I throat issues still, but yeah, could be that there's lots of characters. There are lots of the same ones too from the previous books, but there were lots of the new Skull characters and then new Gaians. Um, I think it was easier for me to keep track of them in this book than in the second book, to be honest. I think all the elders in second book I just could not keep track of. But then here, when we dropped them off in Orisha, then I kind of knew what was happening. So yeah, what happened to the general from New Gaia? He just disappeared like halfway through the book or two-thirds from the book. Did he die? Or he just disappeared? Just Inan took over. What happened? And one more thing, how many times did they go into a trap thinking we got this, we have a great plan, they can't overpower us this time? How many times did they do that? 2 or 3 times? 3 times, right? How stupid are they? How stupid are they? It's just, you did it once, okay. I mean, I think you should have known. You've seen what they were capable of. They were supernatural, whatever. But you go again and you go again, and you expect better result. You bring both girls in and being like, oh no, he got them. How did this happen? Like, baby boy, think. I can't remember him at all. No, he was there in the start and he was really good. I think he's the one who really, or was he the one? He wasn't the one, but he and the one other guy were the two who were really like helping Zane. I really like that. I would have loved to explore that dynamic of the guys training the warriors. That could have been a whole another situation. If it was adult fantasy, I would have loved to dive into that. Yeah. But here, just nothing. But that was, I like that. Don't know about the general. Did I read about the general? Yeah, there was this guy, or Emperor, not Emperor Jorah. Emperor Jorah. Yeah, what happened to him? He just disappeared. No? Or was he there? I don't think he was there in the last battle. Or the last two, at least. What happened to Emperor? Did he die? Did he get injured? I don't know. Yeah, so many traps they fell for. Yeah. Yeah. And there could have been so much more done with these rituals when they went to the ship and they discovered this priestess doing the blood rituals or whatever. But it was all just for the same big ritual in the end. Like, I don't know. I was so like, so many great ideas in the series, but it was so cheap and so underdone. I don't know. It's just, I'm so bitter about this one. I'm so sad. I hated it. I hated it. Right, he trained Zane. Don't know where he went. Yeah, I don't know. Can't remember anyone's names. I thought he got injured. Not sure. Yeah, I think so. But then they never talked about him again. So did he die? Maybe he died. I don't know. They never said. But he's emperor, so they should have known. I don't know. Um, yeah. Anything else we want to discuss? Do we want to do the Copal or maybe not? I don't think I want to do the Copal. I'm just gonna say 2 stars. I think. I don't need to do the Copal. I'll just put some numbers in. But I don't know if there is anything else we should discuss. Um, that was my salt. Do you have any? Larissa, you did say though that you were quite enjoying it. So did your opinion change since then? Because on Tuesday you were like 60, what was it, 8% through or something like that? And you said that you're quite like you were enjoying it a lot or something like that. So did you enjoy it all the way through? Or did it change? Or what happened? It was just mentioned that they were doing a ritual on that ship, just no further explanation why. Yeah. I think the ritual, it was somehow connected to all the ships. It seemed like there were, if I understood correctly, there were priestesses on each of the ships, and they made it so that the ships exploded in a way that they hurt New Gaians, but I don't understand how. I don't know. And also, when they went on all of the ships, it was way too easy. There was like hundreds of ships or hundred of ships. I don't know. They went on all of them. They didn't meet a single skull. Was not suspicious at all. And then they returned back like, okay, it's done now. Zelly needs to do her lightning thing. Um, and then somebody comes and say, "Come, you have to see this." And they go to the ship to see the blood priestess. First of all, who was there first to like to see that this is happening? Okay, let's go, let's call the main people to come here. Second of all, Why didn't they just warn them that, hey, this is weird, I saw this? How didn't they get injured? Like, I have so many questions about this. Like, how is, like, you need to come see this. There is such a better way to do this in the series. Like, they just found it when they were on the ships. You don't need to have anyone else come and say you need to see this. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Where did they who was it? Was it the trap? Was it somebody working from the inside? We'll never know. They never thought about it that this person is working from the inside because they took Zane and I don't know who else was it to come to the ship, to the Blood Priestess. Like, so many things that just were wrong in this book. Was curious about how you rate this book. I'm going with 2 stars as well. Yeah. Yes, a bit not for the better. It was maybe of the short chapters, maybe because of the short chapters, and a lot was happening that made it fast paced for me. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like fast paced books, so that I did not really mind. It was just jumping events, it was just jumping places. It was too easy, too simple. Um, Nobody died. Like, I don't know. I'm really disappointed in this one. So I think that's gonna be a 2 star. And even that, it feels like it's a bit of a grace rating. But I think 2 stars for this one. I can't, with peace of my mind, give it more because of everything I just said. Geez, how many typos can man put? Sorry, no worries, it's fine. I deciphered it. It's okay. One main character did. Yeah, but not in a battle. Yes, I spoiler, but not in a battle. That's my problem. The stakes didn't seem serious and battles were won too easily. Yes. Yep, definitely. Like, they keep talking about how impossible skulls are to defeat, and they kept coming back to these traps, and nobody died. They still kept escaping this. They still kept killing the skulls on, like, with ease. Like, what the heck? No, not on a battle. No, it was self-sacrifice. Yes. Spoilers. Yeah, and I like it again. So if we talk about the self-sacrifice, I like it from the point of view of the relationship. I think the relationship did deserve it. Now thinking about it, I almost want to tear up. So I think it worked great from the relationship point of view. I know you said it was cheesy, but um, I did really like it. I waited for it the entire series, not for the sacrifice, but for something in this relationship to click. And so I think this was really significant. But at the same time, I hate that the author was too coward to kill someone from the battle or to kill the person that was saved. I thought that would have been perfect, and honestly, well, but then she would have to bring up maybe 50 more pages trying to work the way around it and how to solve the issue, because then this person wouldn't be there to save the day. Spoilers. Have no idea about this one character, but I'm curious, Larissa. Yeah, it's yeah, as you said, it's a main character. The reason why it felt cheesy to me because it felt so out of tone. Yep. Oh, so I'm thinking because yeah, kind of. I don't know how I actually feel about it because if out of tone, I think it really made sense for the character. I think it really made sense for the character to do that because if you keep talking about it, we will know. But that's fine. We can spoil it. Um, I think this character struggled from the very beginning on which side to be. And I think, well, that clearly says which character it is. So, and I really enjoyed that. Spoil it. Is it? um, we can spoil it. Yes. So, yes. Inan sacrifices himself for Zeli. 10 points to you. Yes. 10 points to Ivka. Yeah, basically, the scene that you are now reading, it does not work as intended. That was also so cheap, by the way. Just remembered how that scene doesn't work out, felt so cheap, because it was all like, oh, out of my power, and Zelly was like, I can't do anything, and then Zane comes. Zane, oh, lightning, I can do this. I'm like, hello. Not lightning, yeah, the other thing. Like, why didn't you do it before you saw Zane? Like, why do you, like, what the actual heck happened there? You should have done it way earlier. And I was thinking about that a long time ago, like maybe when they actually met Mei, yeah, that maybe they should have killed her. Because that would stop this entire madness. So, like, thinking, okay, maybe they don't want to kill Mei because she's now the big boss of New Gaia, but then kill Zeli so the king doesn't have everybody there to use, you know? So finally she figures that out. But after she just sees Zane and she doesn't figure it, like she doesn't do it before Zane comes, how did that happen? It just didn't make sense. Anyway, Zeli decides to kill herself. Good. But at the end of the day, they managed to save her. They managed to sail across the entire ocean with her after she stabbed herself in the heart. And put her there in the pond for the mother Gaia do her thing. It doesn't work. It saves Mei. It doesn't work with Zeli. So then Mei says, Inan, you have to sacrifice yourself. You have to exchange your breath for Zeli's. And so Inan does it. And that's it. And then Zeli saves the day. And I'm like, couldn't have more ridiculous ending. It's just finally, after all that talk about making it up to Zeli, he puts his words into action. Exactly what I was thinking. Like, finally he chose a side. Finally he was able to prove her that he loves her and that he is on the good side. He is on her side. He is good. So I really like that. Like, I think it really made sense for his character, how he was like so battled the entire series, that like he didn't know what to do. I loved his character so much. So I think it made sense that he sacrificed for his character, but I don't think it made sense. The entire scene made sense for the ending of the book. Killing Mai would have been a sacrifice. Yes. How fast is the chip? Extremely fast, apparently, through the vine wards, whatever they are called. They are apparently able to make the chip go super fast. Also, how he is overcome by some entity and he can't control himself and he kills friends and foe, but how does that not happen to the other skulls? Yeah, Zane, you mean? I actually think that's what friends and foes. Yeah, I don't know, because he's not a skull. I think the skulls are some kind of like different creatures. I don't think they are human. At least that's how I understood it. I don't think they are fully human. I think they are some different kind of creatures, and yeah, they have these supernatural tools, weapons. I don't know. It's confusing. See, it was not explained properly. Like, why does he get this? Why does he get possessed or something? Right. Good point. Yeah. Good point. How? Oh, there's so many things that just did not work. The more we talk about it, the more I'm like, maybe 1 star, but it feels like 1 star is maybe a bit too brutal. 2, I'm gonna give it 2, but yeah, that's a low. That's a low low point, unfortunately. Um, is there anything more? I'm sure there are more things that I was thinking like, oh, this would be so fun to discuss, but I can't now think of it. But that's fine. Um, so many questions. Yeah, none of it is answered. None of it. Yeah, it's a shame because the cover is beautiful. The first 2 books were good. I really enjoyed the first 2 books, but the third book was a total flop. And agree about the 1 or 2 stars. Yeah, and you haven't even read the ending. But I wonder if now you're gonna hate read the ending, knowing what it is and what we thought about it. Now it's gonna be total hatred. I'm just disappointed that this is how the series ends. I know, it's so sad. It's so sad. Don't even know who's the king in the end, or like how do they make Orisha work again? They go back to Orisha. Yeah, I mean they're all united. We don't know who's the new king. Maybe they don't have a king. Maybe they will elect someone, and it will be like government, setting up government. But yeah, it's not good. With this book, such a mess and flop. Yep. At least I will understand what happens at the end. Finally, a part of the book without questions. Maybe I'll come up with some new questions that we haven't talked about today. So maybe. FK, well, if you do, drop them in the Discord. Yes, we'll be there discussing for sure with you once you finish. So I'm quite excited to see what you think about it once you're done. Yeah. Is there anything more we would like to discuss about these 3 books or about this specifically, Anguish and Anarchy? Otherwise, I think I am satisfied with the discussion. I think we talked about most of it. We were pretty salty. What are you rating it, Larissa? Are you gonna give it like 3 stars or something? Or did it drop down? Um, but yeah, I think this is a bit shorter discussion, but it's still 47 minutes. Wow. And then exclusive information. I don't know if anybody of you voted. We'll be reading Bunny as a buddy read, not a read along, but a buddy read. We'll be reading Uprooted by Naomi Novik, is the name, I think. So if you'd like to join, sorry, I just saw in a window across the street and it looked like there was fire, but it's just TV. And then third, there is another series I'm planning to read, and I own all 3 books in the trilogy, so I plan to make it another read along. Do you want to know what it is to see if you would like to join? I haven't. I mentioned that I want to do another read along, but I have not mentioned which series it would be. So, would you like the exclusive information? Order from Good to Bad, book from Good to Bad, book 213. I agree. I think so. I think I would agree as well. 213. I think I liked one better. Like it felt most like best done, kind of. But the second one was much more entertaining overall. I think that's how I felt. I'll be happy when I finish this book. Yeah, I can imagine. Yes. Yes, Bunny. I'm so excited about reading Bunny. I have read Uprooted earlier this year, but would love to chat about it. Nice, nice. Yes, would love to know the new read along. Now, if people don't want to read it, it's not gonna be read along. Like I'm not gonna make read along only for myself. and nobody will join. But if there would be people who would like to join, we'll do that. Read Bunny and uprooted already, but won't mind a reread. Nice. I mean, you don't have to. Definitely, you can just chat, like Evka said. But let me grab the series. If you watch my videos, you probably have seen these books, this series, in the bookshelf. But let me get it. I'll show it to you. And at some point, I was just thinking, like, yes, this. I remember exactly how it was. Like, I came home from a vacation and I was thinking, like, everybody's talking about this book and about this series. I need to read it. So I got all three. Instead of borrowing one from library and seeing if I like it, I bought the entire trilogy. And then I was like, how stupid am I? What if I don't like it? But anyway, I have the entire trilogy. So it's coming. It's coming, maybe, if people like. And it's this. I don't know what the trilogy is called, but it's A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. I don't know if this is YA or adult, but I heard so many amazing things about this, so I'm really excited to finally get to this. They go from pretty normal sized book, right? What is this? 300, less than 400 pages, to a little bit thicker one, almost 500 pages, to a quite a chunker. This one's 650. So yeah, these are the books this is the series I plan to do read along for. So you are the first to know. I have not mentioned to anybody yet. I will post it on YouTube on the community tab at some point. That we could read these next year, somewhere in the second half, because I think the first half will be pretty packed with the other books we are reading. But in the second half of the year, I plan to read these, and I'm really, really excited. Yes. I only read the first one, but want to reread that and read along. Oh, nice! I tried that series 3 times so far. Time for. Oh, you didn't. Why did you try 3 times? Is it like not good, or you just don't care, or like was it the DNF? What happened? You got this. Yeah, I mean we could try, and if you don't enjoy it, that's totally fine. Like if you read it and don't like it, totally cool. I have the books. So I'm gonna do it if people want to join, and yeah, hopefully people want to join. But it is old one. It is quite old, so I don't know how many people will want to join. The first one, 2015. That's 10 years when we read it. That's quite something. The second one, 2016. And the last one, 2017, back to back. Yeah, 15, 16, 17. So that's that. I never picked up the second book because it didn't hook me enough, but maybe with a read along, it will give me that extra push. Okay, well, that's not a good sign that it didn't hook you enough to want to continue, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be more fun when we read it together, or maybe it will only, remind you why you didn't want to continue, and then I'll just, give up. That's fine too. We'll see. But I do want to read it because I own them, obviously. So I'm gonna get to them. But yeah, I am now happy. Is there anything more we should discuss, or you would like to say, or ask, or mention, or remind, or something? Let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm good for now. Next thing we'll be talking about is the Coral Bones for the book club, for the Climates book club. The live show will be beginning of January. And Bunny, we were saying, so that's non-book club book. And that one we said we'll be reading in, what is it? March? I think that one is in March. So live show beginning of April. Um, I will at least try the first one again. Okay, okay, that's fair. How does it start? What's the first start? What's the first sentence? For the ones who dream of stranger worlds. Okay. The traveler. Kel wore a very peculiar coat. That's not that great a first sentence. It had neither one side, which would be conventional, nor two, which would be unexpected, but several, which was, of course, impossible. Okay. The first thing he did whenever he stepped out of one London and into another was take off the coat and turn it inside out once or twice, or even three times, until he found the side he needed. Not all of them were fashionable, but they each served the purpose. Okay, well, I am intrigued. Um, Love that we read these books together. Thanks for the read along and thanks for hosting. Thank you for being here and reading it with me and discussing. It wouldn't happen without you two, especially you two. I know there are more people joining the first one, but still, thank you so much for wanting to read this with me. I really enjoyed it and was fun. And yeah, finally made me read them because they were on the shelves for a long time. So I'm really happy I finally read it. And now, whenever anybody says anything about these books, I can join the conversation. No more FOMO. um, but yeah, great. So thank you so much for being here today and discussing and the entire read along. And yeah, I'll see you maybe tomorrow in my video premiere, or maybe Tuesday at the sprints that I have not scheduled yet. And otherwise, in the live show for the book club, maybe. There is lots of things happening. So we'll see. I'll see you somewhere. I'll see you somewhere. I had fun despite the cliff the series jumped off of. Yes. I love how you wrote that, actually. That is totally true. That is true. Um, yeah, I enjoyed it as well. It was nice. I'm very disappointed in the last one, but overall, like the first two books, I did enjoy. So happens, but it's okay. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Hope you have a nice rest of the evening and a great start to the week tomorrow. And I'll see you very very soon.